How much would the government have to offer you monetarily? I'm not talking assets to get you to have a child.
Throwing away my current peace and happiness and rushing that decision is something money cannot buy. However, $100 million wouldn't hurt, right? Jokes aside, this previous creator is 100% correct. The US is currently panicking and trying to offer out baby bonuses because the CDC is reporting that we are at an all-time low in fertility rate. Only 1.6 children is being born per woman. Which means it's working, ladies. We're not having enough children to replace the current population, and it's making them panic because that's bad for them. But this previous creator indirectly poses a great question. Basic necessities and decent programs aside, what is the actual cost of raising a child? Because the numbers they've been feeding us, they haven't updated in over a decade, so they're terribly off. And I've calculated them for you here today. So as always, make sure you like, rage, comment, repost, and follow along to stay up to date. And thank you for ignoring the fact that I'm filming this in bed because I've been very sick, and I'm not sure if I should go to the hospital at this point, but let's just keep going. Ironically enough, as I try not to run back to the toilet, we're going to start with healthcare costs. Assuming you're pushing the nuclear family plan, so we're going to take the average cost of per month times 12 months a year times 18. And all of this is pretending you kick your kid out of the house at 18, which doesn't ever happen, but it's already significantly more. Clothing and miscellaneous, we're only going to add a few thousand onto there. We're just going to pray you buy everything used or get some good deals. Next, we have the cost of food. Oh my. I've already done a whole video breaking down the cost of a week of food, so we're going to multiply that for an entire year. Because remember, formula is expensive and kids eat a lot, so that's a little bit higher than the number they got for 18 years. Then we have childcare and education, and we're just going to pray your kid doesn't make it into college, I guess. A long time ago, I did a previous video going more in depth, breaking down the various hours, different weeks, school off in the summer for different ages on all of this. When you add up the roughly 12 years, it comes out to this. And most importantly, we got housing and transportation. And looking at it, I can already tell you that number's not right. At this point, the dream of a house is gone. I looked up to 2-bedroom apartments for rent in Minnesota and half-decent school districts. This is more or less what most of them came out to be per year, and then you multiply that by 18. Once you add this all up, and sadly this doesn't factor in things like birthdays, birthday parties, Christmas, holidays, vacations you might want to go on, events that happen at school that cost extra. We're just assuming at some point your kid's probably getting a job to help pitch in with a lot of this stuff. Which is still not even a lifestyle I would trade mine for if this was all entirely covered, but the amount that you would want is over $1 million. Personally, currently, until we figure out things like free childcare, healthcare, reasonably priced housing, you can take your few $1,000 baby bonuses and put them you know where. Remember, on top of all of this, you now also have to factor in yourself for those 18 years.